are sweets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Omere, you know, it's been painted to be so dark and difficult, but I believe that because election is a process. And why do I say it's a process? Because if you go back to the 2017 elections that were nullified, it was nullified based off the process did not follow the law. Now, when you talk about the process of elections begins from the campaign period. You know, equally NCIC is there, one would ask. There is head speech that is there. There is equally KRA could be asked. So in terms of financing illicit flow of money, is KRA responding to that? Let us look at the process of election and how we fix that to say we have a credible election. Because if the process is dogged, if the process is dirty, there is no way the end result will be clean. Are we looking at it from that light?
Well, election is not a one-day event.
Yes.
It's a long process, and it doesn't end when you vote. In fact, the other cycle starts after you have voted. But let me ask, even from my fellow panelists, because the picture that they have painted, I know the situation is bad, but can't we break that curse? Are we irredeemably bad? I think there is a solution. And if we take this process seriously, like I have said, that this next cycle begins when you have cast your vote. Like the problems that you are facing, mistrust with the IBC, campaign financing, electing bad leaders, it is because we do some of these things in a knee-jerk way. So when we talk about election reforms, this is a conversation that begins when we are almost 1 year before the election. When we are talking about good leaders, of course, it's during the election year. But I think this conversation should be continuous. And I think this curse can be broken by what we saw by young people doing in this country, being not civic apathetic, people who want to be engaged, people who want to ask questions, people who will bring grievances if they feel they are not involved in the processes. So I think from now, and even in the organization that I work for, what we should do is to invest in an active citizen, a citizen who asks questions, a citizen who elect good leaders who will in turn go and build strong institutions, because a country is built by strong institutions. And the problem that we are having at this particular moment, Wakili has said, it's bad governance, and bad governance is brought about by very weak institutions. So if we bring in people who are willing to build strong institutions, I think most problems in this country will be solved, including that big problem of trust.
Yeah.
You see, what is the... Sorry, but I want good governance.
Yep.
And I come out here today, I'm analyzing that I want good governance.
Yes.
Then somebody calls my grandfather from the village and they invites him to come to State House and he gives him 3,000 from public money. I mean, have we done audit? And you know, I can't say it is wrong because my grandfather would curse me. I mean, he needs it and it's okay. And you see now, this is where the problem is. Somebody is very calculative, he's very innovative, then he uses that intellect or intelligence to, I mean, throw to your face what you really need, and he waits to see whether you will say no. So it's all a whole issue of good governance covered in several dynamics. If we want to have a nice country, a honest, good country, where my brother Wamara says we cannot be desperate, I agree. But Gen Z especially have been putting this government on toes from, in fact, 2022 until the culmination in that riots. So we are ready to ask. People are asking questions, we are analyzing here. And when they are asking good questions, some of them are disappeared. So I think everybody wants a good Kenya. But the problem is those in power are clinging to it. And Obama here said one time that, must you be the one in office?
Yeah.
So now we have now gone into, now it is 2060. Now we don't care about 2030, if it failed or it did not. So the issue, to be honest with you, for this country, and education is too good in this country. I mean, you visited countries and you appreciate that Kenyans are so good, so learned. We ask the relevant questions, even brave ones. So the problem is not the country, it is not the people. The problem is poor and bad governance.
Our electoral laws, are they strong enough? And if they are, is the problem implementation?
In
and
my honest view, we are very good electoral laws. Of course, every other time you'll come and say, oh yeah, we need to change this, but our electoral laws are good. The constitution itself is good. But the people trying to implement it have actually completely refused or rejected it before. So it becomes very difficult to implement the electoral law. If you are implementing the electoral laws in this country, kwa ukweli, and you see that you are going to fail, in our culture, you will not even implement a damn rule of that Elections Act. So it is the people. You know, once you know where the problem is, actually you can start healing. It is our people, especially the leaders. Hakuna story ingine.
Then, Grace, if we have electoral laws that are really good, implementation is the problem. And at the center of that is the referee, who then gives power and gives the oomph to these electoral laws, right? When they are seen to be the problem, how do we go to 2027 with the belief that at the end of the day, we will say, free, fair, verifiable?
At the risk of sounding like an IBC apologist, which I am not, but I think we like to, they're so easy to scapegoat, right? Everyone wants to demonize IBC. IBC stayed for 900 days without commissioners. 900 days. So when you start, literally they've just started, and I like what my colleague said. The electoral cycle is not supposed to stop. Because people are being born every day, people are dying, voters are, you know, we need to continuously be demarcating. You know, so we can't wait for, you know, now that we have the calendar of elections, then now you want to add and divide wards and constituencies, like it's too late, yeah? So that process is supposed to be ongoing. This is a commission that has staff, that has a payroll, and for a big chunk of 2 years, people are going to work without anything to do. Like, you report to work because you're paid at the end of the month. And unfortunately, it's not just IBC, it's a lot of all these commissions. I think they've been operating on less than 30% development budget. So you have all these good intentions. We also like to demonize NCIC, but then you keep seeing them, you know, being given mandate and stripped of power, or being frustrated, or being punished when they're seen to be effective. Then now budget is withheld. So we need to go back and actually say, what is the consequence of a parliament withholding commissioners, even a presidency, refusing to allow constitutional bodies to operate for that long? Because we are the ones who pay for the consequences of that. And you know, we really like to romanticize, you know, citizen engagement. But in this country, in this region, citizen engagement is a matter of life and death. How many people have we lost? We're still in court defending those Gen Zs that everyone likes to clap for, but I don't see many people coming to court to defend them against terrorism charges. Yeah? We talk about goons and then we quickly gloss over what the actual consequence is. So we need to start holding people accountable for this, because what we are doing is funding post-election violence. It's going to be pre, during, and post-election violence with very dire consequences, which we unfortunately know too well what it could lead to. So how do we need to wait for, you know, another Kofi Annan to come and start the process of, oh, where did we go wrong? We already know where we are going wrong, because we are actually leading towards that path, and we're really accelerating towards that path, which is very dangerous. It's going to cost our country. We're already in a region that is very volatile, and we can't afford, you know, to lump on risk after risk. So we need to start seriously having conversations about how to hold offices and individuals accountable for facilitating what's going to be very dire consequences for the country.
Vincent, you should just